Yes, you got it right this time.
I did. Look at me getting better. Going lockdown corners. Special guest going with a family member again. Shows how how close this family is in Post Fades and Cheesesteaks.
Oh yeah, we're growing. We're growing.
Tight knit.
Well, Alex, welcome to the shebang.
Happy to be here, boys. Hopefully we can knock these corners out of the park.
Alex, what are you doing? What are you setting up?
Just moving stuff from behind over there because I have like pictures and stuff of like family members. So I was just blocking it so that no one's like,
I thought you were gonna come out with your own board and start giving me a little
the big board.
The lights go off and then we're gonna have a presentation on the board.
Oh.
That's what I was waiting for. I think have something for me to break down. Give me a play.
Yeah, right here. We'll just start sticking up like players and just have their faces going down in order.
I like it. I'm a big fan. We're really getting out of control. Look at us go. We're a very minimal budget. We're really going out.
Super minimal budget.
All right. Well, guest goes first as always. Alex.
Well, what are we drinking?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot. I actually did something a little different today. I went with the wine.
I saw it looked a little fancy. So we got a wine.
Mango White Claw, like it.
Nice,
what do you got for us today?
Got some,
Never
some
fails.
Blue Moon mandatory orange.
Nice, good.
Love it. Sticking with the beer matches the drapes.
Of course. You can't keep the people guessing. You gotta give them what they want.
I like it.
So without further ado, you want me to just go into it here?
Yeah, let's start.
Give us number 10. Yeah, who do you got at number 10?
So I really like this guy. He's a young kid. I think it's his second year in the league. Denzel Ward.
Okay.
Out of Cleveland. I think he has all the tools to be both zone and a man cover corner. I mean, the guy is physical. He jumps routes. He makes big plays. He tackles. And I mean, they ask him to do just about everything over in Cleveland. They just don't have a ton around him in the secondary. And you can at least say that they have at least a cornerstone corner that they can develop and turn into even more of a lockdown guy than he already is.
I like Denzel Ward. He didn't make my list. He was part of that 12-13 range that I could have easily put up here. But I mean, I like him. I do. I think he's really good. I think what I think is crazy with Denzel Ward is like he got drafted so high, and like he's been playing really good. But I feel like it's him and Bradley Chubb neck and neck right now.
He was fourth overall. I didn't realize
that was like the classic Browns pick. Like you took Baker, Denzel Ward. You listen to no one, not even on the second top five. But
you could argue that Denzel Ward's better than Baker. Make the case.
I mean, I agree with you. I like him. I think he's gonna get better. I think that their secondary is gonna be pretty nice this year. I think they're gonna.
Yeah, I like Greedy Williams.
Yeah, and then they got. Am I wrong? Did they get Grant Telpett, or did I make that up?
They did.
Okay, they did. Yeah, they did. They did. Excuse me.
I mean, I like it. It's young. They can grow together.
Yeah, I like Ward. I have him pretty soon on my list. But yeah, I like him.
All right, what do you got at number 10 then?
Let's see. Oh, I get to go second. That's a first one. So number 10.
I'm in a comment today.
I struggle with this guy's first name, but I'm gonna try my best.
Okay.
Jaire Alexander, the Packers guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
how do you pronounce it? I watched like a bunch of videos.
Jaire.
Jaire. Yeah.
Jaire Alexander. Yeah. So I like him a lot. Surprising that Packers have a good secondary guy right now, and usually when they have a good secondary guy, they let them walk. So hopefully,
very true.
He'll be entering his third year. He's only 23, former first-round pick. So I mean, in 2 years, playing that left corner slot, I mean, he's asked to do a lot. He was covering Stephon Diggs.
It's a tough division. Yeah, it's a tough division to go on.
And even Bears have some decent receivers at Robinson, and so
they just don't have anyone capable of getting them the ball.
Yeah. But I mean,
he will be making an appearance for me for sure. I love him.
I mean, Jaire Alexander, he's the best corner in his division now. I don't think he was 3 months ago, but now he is.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And then,
actually, you know what? That's too. Again, he's in that 12 to 13 range. I think it was so deep. This one was pretty difficult, but I don't have Alexander in my top 10 either.
Wow, look at that.
I didn't have either of them. I'm telling you, I could have easily gone comfortably. 12 was hard, but I comfortably 13, 14 would have been Alexander and Ward. I had them as my 34. I'll get to my list, but it's deep. I thought safeties was the toughest one. This one might have given it a run for its money.
Honestly, Honestly, I thought that, like I said, maybe it was just because I knew kind of who I already wanted to put on this list, but honestly, it was more the order was harder for me than
Yeah.
picking the 10 candidates.
That was, see, I don't know. I was the opposite. It was to get to, once I got the 10, it was pretty easy to ignore because I have like 4 studs, and then the rest of them you can just change anywhere.
I mean, I switched this list by far. I switched around the most. Like I had it set, completely changed it, then like reset it back to what I had because I was like, no, these numbers they're too good. And so yeah, I mean, it's interesting. There's like you said, I think there's more good young safeties than there are corners, but I think there's like
there's the veterans are pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good corners though. You have to. I mean, there's 2 corners at least. Usually 3 nowadays on the field.
Always 2 or 3 on the field. So
yeah.
It's like it's one of those positions that you have to have just a rotation of guys. People are getting banged up. People just constantly. You need to have that position filled.
But yeah, I mean, not much more on Alexander. I didn't really touch much on him, but I'm sure we'll talk about him a little more. I just thought his numbers were solid. I mean, last year 53% of he was targeted 110 times. Like that's a ton. And he only had
true, yeah.
60 completions. So I mean, it's pretty solid. I think
that is a lot for like a pretty much number 1 corner. That's
I mean, I was looking through, and there were
just to keep going at him.
There were not as many. Like I don't know if anyone got into 100. Honestly, let me see.
Well, I think a lot of times people. I mean, it's situational with these guys. I mean, when you're playing against Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I think you have that anticipation that you have to just throw the ball.
I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I mentioned that because I had Tyrann Mathieu last week, like pretty high, I think number 2. And that's the thing is like, he's not only just really playing really well, but he's playing against teams that are constantly throwing the ball. Like Pat Mahomes is just running a full on sprint, and the other team's got to catch up. Yeah. It's tough on your secondary to, make up for that. And I think that showed to be their biggest weakness. His first year playing. So 2 years ago was the defense, which is an embarrassment, and then they went, I think Tyrann Mathieu was the best offseason pickup then, but we digress. But for number 10 for me, I went with another young guy. I think we'll continue with the trend. Young guy that's already seen a little bit of hardware. So I went with the rookie offensive defense player of the year from 2017, and that'd be Marshawn Lattimore.
Wow. I thought you would have had him down a little bit.
Why
so early?
I had him all over this list.
Yeah.
See, he's weird because like if you ask me like after his rookie season when he was just incredible, like really turned. We talked about I kind of touched on this with the Chiefs and Tyrann Mathieu. It was like Lattimore came in and pretty much turned that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We got frozen scum.
Classic frozen scum.
Oh my God! Look at that. Look at that. I mean, that is a picture perfect. Description. If you were looking at the dictionary, like what was scum?
Oh yeah.
Right here. Right there, people.
Not even looking at the camera, mouth open when he's breathing. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. Oh, he's a mouth breather for sure. He's back.
Oh, he's back.
What happened? You guys ditched me.
No, you ditched us, and we just talked shit on you.
Oh, yeah. I was going on, and my points that I was making, and I was like, wow, they're not saying anything. Maybe I'm making a lot of really good points.
No, you're gonna have to literally start over. We heard nothing. So
all right, well, okay. So like I was getting to Marshawn Lattimore after his rookie year, he would have been top 5 in this list without doubt.
Oh yeah,
I think he's been good. Like the last year, I think he was a Pro Bowler. It's just I still think the rookie year was his best year. Even though he's kind of took a slight decline, which I still think he can get back to his rookie year level. He's been covering number 1 guys since like he entered the league. He took the joke of the Saints defense, like. Before he got there, and it's not the best, but instant upgrade around the whole defense.
Oh yeah, I mean, you take him off that defense, and they're, like you said, a toaster set to infinity. So
yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, it's like what we mentioned. Drew Brees just throws all game. Everyone else is going to have to light up the Saints secondary, and they do.
You got to factor in too, like it's almost like how we talked about with Shaq Barrett, how Jameis is turning the ball over so much that defense is on so much. Like Breeze is scoring so much that Lattimore sees a lot of action. So
the other thing I'll say is like the Saints, because they brought in Eli Apple. They brought in, what was the other guy's name?
Well, they have Malcolm Jenkins now. They have Janoris Jenkins.
Brought in that safety, the high paid Bird or who did they bring in? They paid him a ton of money to play safety.
Vaccaro, I think. Yeah, Vaccaro.
Kenny Vaccaro.
But I mean, like. No, maybe it's not him. I know you're talking, but back to like Lattimore has been that like veteran presence. I think Malcolm Jenkins will help him later, but there's been constant change in that secondary since he's been on that team. You know, if you factor in Jenkins wasn't there, you know, Malcolm Jenkins is now coming in there. Eli Apple joined in on them. You know, it's just But he's been that like leader, that number one guy that takes the number one cornerback since he's a rookie. So it's impressive what he's done already. I just think if this was his rookie year, I'd probably put him top 5 easy. I just, you know, he's kind of slipped off a little bit. Still confidence on him. Still stud.
I think it's fair to say he's not ascended to that same level.
Yeah, that's the only thing against him is his rookie year was so good. He hasn't been able to match it.
I looked at a lot of factors and I moved him up a lot higher in my list, but we can get to that.
Okay. Well, you know, I look forward to
it. If that's your piece, we can move on to number 9.
Okay. We get to 9?
Yep.
All right. So this was a tough spot. I mean, I kept, you know, moving people around, and I came across our boy Darius Slay.
Okay.
And the reason that I put him there, he could have easily gone higher. I'm just projecting out, and I think he's going to get attacked in Philly, like a lot of corners do when they come here. Mm-hmm. For some reason, like, you have no more Malcolm Jenkins. And I just think they're going to ask him to just go out there and cover every single number one guy and shadow him. And yeah, he is elite. And he has the ability to do that, but he's going to a new defense. He is familiar with the defensive coordinator in Schwartz, but it is a new defense for him. It's new people. I mean, I hope that he, you know, brings that same swag he had in Detroit, because we've been, you know, as Philly fans, is what we've been needing.
Exactly. Dude, number one cornerback is just music to my ears. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got the Goosies. I'm ready to go.
Oh, yeah. It's come on. Like, it's such a weird thing for me that I'm not used to.
Yeah. So he easily could have been higher for me. I'm projecting outwards for this year. I think, you know, he has all the ability. I just think it's, again, situational. I think he's going to get targeted. He's going to be that guy maybe that gets targeted 100 times just because, you know, they're going to have to throw it against us. I think we're going to put up points.
Now, not to skip you, Gazelle, but one of the things that we usually notice is that, you know, the good guests usually match up with what I'm thinking. And I also had Big Play Slay at number 9.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now, now your thing with I agree with what you said, but the number one cornerback lockdown, like, dude, have you seen the Lions? The Lions are terrible. Like, he's been doing that. He's been to the last 3 Pro Bowls, I believe, on like 2. Like, the Lions have been a bad team since Patricia's in there. Horrible team.
Oh, yeah.
And like
he's a defensive-minded head coach and doesn't have a defense for 3 years.
It's idiotic. Like, he's just it's clearly not working. Every single player that leaves that team just trashes them on the way out.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you had a lot of points with Slay, so I won't get too much into it and repeat a lot of it. I do think the one, like, cool things is, like, Byron Jones signed for this big free agent money, and, like, he's the big name. I don't even think Byron Jones was the best cornerback to change teams last year. I still think that's Slay. I think I'm impressed to see Slay. You know, he's gonna have more pressure on him, because I don't think that the Eagles secondary is necessarily great, and I think they're gonna take a step back with Jenkins. But Schwartz was his coach the rookie year. He understands him to at least a bit. You know, he must have had a part in drafting him. But I'm expecting big things. I think he'll fit in like a glove. I think he's gonna be a number 1 cornerback, which is something I haven't seen in a while. Now, there's one thing that I did notice. I have a video here. I actually did not know this until I did my research. I did not know Carson Wentz's first career interception was from Darius Slay.
Big Play Slay.
I did not know that. Like, this is such this is a crucial part in the game. Horrific mistake to ever leave this ball, but look at him just go up and get it. Like,
he caught it behind, like he wasn't even turned around yet.
I don't know if you saw that was Aguilar he threw it to. Though.
I know. I was gonna say that too. It was like, then you realize the wide receiver, and you're like, why didn't he even attempt to go up there? Like, the game's on the line, and Darius Slay just jumps over and takes it from him.
Oh yeah, easy money.
He's got the ball skills. I think his best year was 8 interceptions or whatever. I forget
2017.
Yeah, but like that's a high number. That's like, you know,
that's for a corner.
Yeah, that's a lot. Especially he's been on very inconsistent teams, to say the least, in the Lions. I think he's going to flourish and thrive. I think the Eagles defense are going to benefit a lot from him.
Well, but before I was interrupted, I always liked Darius Slay. You know, I think right before that, like, big year he had is when I started like hearing about him more and watching him, and I was like, I wanted them to trade the Eagles to trade for him, like during the before the deadline this past year.
Oh, without doubt, he's got the coolest nickname ever too. Like Big Play Slay. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Hell yeah!
Real excited for that one.
Yeah, but I have a little higher. I've always, like I said, I've always liked him. And then even still, I think he kind of went through a like end of like a Earl Thomas kind of situation where like he gave up on his team because it was such a bullshit like situation. And
the team's
all
terrible.
circumstance, man. Yeah. It's such a circumstance league. It's all circumstantial.
That's why I like that PFF grade for him last year was ridiculously bad because of.
I don't think he cracked 25.
No, he had like. Well, I don't even think I wrote it down. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
but it's
like 80 something crazy.
I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely a top 10. Which to say that the Eagles have a top 10 cornerback gets me really excited. I haven't been able to say that.
Now, I have one other interesting fact that I was forgot on the big play side. I'll leave it and let you have it after Gazelle. But this one got me excited because the Eagles. Did you know that
Drenkston Fly
the fourth like highest passes defended in a season all time, 26 by Darius Slay.
Wow, it's a good fact. Good fact for it.
I'd say that's amazing. Stephon Gilmore, I think, had 20. I believe was it.
So all this praise and you had him at 9. Little shocked.
Yeah, you know what? I know, but it's a tough list. This was a tough list.
Yeah.
I could have easily switched him with the next two. The top 6, I feel very comfortable with having higher than him.
Who'd you have, Dak?
Yeah, so number 9, I had someone you just touched on, Denzel Ward. Every reason you said. The only reason I put him over Alexander was because of some of the completion percentage and stuff, and something incredible. He allowed only 1 touchdown all of last year. 1. 6.2 yards per catch. Like 1 touchdown and 6.2 yards. Like that's crazy. And he's only this good.
Who's the other corner on that team?
Well, it's Greedy. Well,
exactly.
Greedy Williams, yeah.
Greedy Williams. Yeah, but yeah. I think they also know not to throw his way.
But I mean, 83 targets, 40 completions. That's a 48% completion percentage. Only
he's good.
500 yards. Like,
I think the Browns defense is going to be pretty solid this year. Like a nice pass rush they got with
Browns
and Vernon.
Should, as a team, be not Super Bowl playoff contenders as talent wise. We'll see if they can put it together, but
they'll need a big season from Denzel Ward.
What's up?
They'll need a big season from Denzel Ward if they're trying to do that.
I'm sure they will. Need a big season from Myles Garrett too, and
that's true. All right, what are we at? Number 8.
Numero ocho.
Number 8. So this is probably going to be the big shock on the list.
Oh, 8, starting early.
This is a personally for me. I just think that the skills are going to diminish, and I have Richard Sherman at number 8, guys.
You know what's funny? The last 2 picks, I've like in my head predicted who you were about to say, and I got both right so far. So
how could? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get like he's.
And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, you remember he went to whatever. But go on.
He is a lock first ballot Hall of Famer. I think we all can agree he's
100%.
one of the great corners we've ever seen.
Yeah, top 10 corner of all time.
You could make that case, definitely. You could definitely make that case. But we're entering the back end of his like prime. You could say almost he's at the end of his prime. I mean, you could look at his numbers.
Got a couple years left. Yeah,
his targets were not there. I mean, they just didn't throw it his way in San Francisco. He played on the best defense in the league, and in my opinion, he's not a true. He's a lockdown corner, but he's not a shadow. He's not somebody that you could say, we need him to cover Julio tonight, and he's going to cover Julio tonight.
He's never been.
You could put Julio on the other side of the field. He has no worries. He has no problem with Sherman. So my only thing with Sherman, you can look at all the numbers. He's on that side of the field, he's the best in the business. But my number one thing is, if I need you to go and take away the number 1 wide receiver, and you tell me you only play one side of the field, well then you drop down the list for me. I think that the skills are there. But the mindset that he only wants to play one side of the field, I need more.
I have him a better than that. I mean, like
slightly better.
He's never been a follow you around kind of guy. Like he's the best zone cover corner. But you just said he's a Hall of Famer from doing that his entire career. He doesn't need to be a followed around kind of guy. I think that I know he's the oldest player I have on my list, but I still feel confident in his future. One, because I'm not an idiot. The Niners defense is stacked. So it helps when that pass rush is just killing them. But 2 is he plays the game where like he doesn't rely on athleticism. He's just smarter than everyone. He knows the zone coverage so well, and he's big and he's physical, and he can.
Smaller? He's 6'3".
No, I'm sorry. He's big. He's taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like a big corner. So it's like he jams you at the line, and you can't get off. And then this great pass rush gets to you. I think he's in the perfect situation. You can't hold him on the fact that he doesn't follow guys around because he's never done that. But we'll get to him. I
want to hear your reasons why, not why.
I don't have him a lot higher than you. I'll admit that.
You'll tell me why.
The one thing I will agree with him is that he is a lot slower now, than he was in his prime. His yardage is pretty good for like yards allowed, but I mean he's letting up a lot of completions. He's like at 62%. But I mean, I don't know. This past playoffs, besides the Packers game, I mean, he really struggled in the Super Bowl. So
I thought you could say that's the only game he struggled all year.
It's the biggest game of the year. Like,
I hear you.
You don't want your elite corner to struggle in the most important game.
Yeah, I get you. I know, but it's not like he was bad. So, but
where's the league going? It's going speed.
Yeah,
and he's not the speed
spread him
guy.
in speed.
So I think you spread him out and
I'll get to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll get to it. I think he ages well. That's why I'm not worried about his age. But we'll go.
Your wine? Like your wine?
Like his wine.
He gets it. That's actually why I had the wine tonight. So for that.
Okay.
All right. My turn. Since
I skipped you last time. Well, we were talking about Darius Slay. I got eager.
Yeah. You wanted it.
I did.
So now that we've gone, already into this top 10, this is the guy I now think neither of you will have, just based on. Really? Yeah, we'll see. But at number 8, I had Casey Hayward of the Chargers. Always been a fan of him.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You'll see.
2-time Pro Bowler. I mean, the dude's consistent. Like I get it. The Chargers line is pretty crazy up front, Melvin Ingram, Bosa, but he's been doing it for quite a few years. So I've always liked him. He's kind of like Slay. Some guy wasn't on a team that's one of my favorite teams, but some guy I just like to follow and has had a good career so far. I mean, I forgot he was on the Pack. He was drafted by the Packers. Like I completely forgot that, but.
I didn't even know that.
That's what we're saying, that the Packers just let everyone go from their secondary.
Yeah, that's why they haven't won the big game in a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's usually smart to keep your best players, especially if they're playing the secondary.
Yeah.
I would. I would.
All right, so that was your number 8?
Yeah, I mean, he has like his years. Like 2016, he had 7 interceptions, and then like 2018 he had 0, and last year he had 2. But like, good coverage guy, under 60% completions. So, 60%. Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So number 8, I went with. So this will actually be the second mention of someone on the All-Decade team after you put Sherman at 8. But I went with Pat Peterson at number 8.
Okay. All right. I love the guy. I really do. But he didn't even make my top 10.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
I find that's foolish. Why? I'm just curious. I'll get to my points, but why didn't he make your top 10?
Nothing he's done in the past like 2-3 years has gotten me excited. Like, I mean, like granted, like when the Eagles were rumored to be like in trade talks with the Cardinals like 2 years ago, I think, for Peterson at the deadline, I was like, yes, like love Patrick Peterson. He's a baller. He's probably a Hall of Famer.
Oh, he's definitely a Hall of Famer, without a doubt.
And he was an all-around skill player. Like, I mean, he was a returner for a while, leader of that defense, I would say still. And my dogs seem to think Patrick Peterson's
funny.
Yeah, they think he's top 10, I guess. But
yeah, he agrees.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, I would have had him like top 5 probably, but I just think he's really fallen off. He would have been like 11 or 12.
Of animals. Look at that. You can't even get humans to agree with you. I'm getting the whole animal kingdom. I'm like Dr. Doolittle over here.
That was the hardest one. I really wanted him on the list, but I just felt.
See, all right, that's fair. Here, I'll admit he didn't have a great year last year, but
yeah.
Every single year of his career, he's been a Pro Bowler, including 2 years ago.
Tim, I've been educated by you. I mean,
now here, hold on.
All the young players are the ones to go to. So
hold on. Now he's not super old. He turned 30 years old 2 days ago. His birthday was 11th.
It's old for a corner.
That's still a little older.
Now that's what I thought, but then I looked at this. Did you know that Patrick Peterson has missed 6 games in his entire career?
Yeah,
those 6 games would be the 6 games he got suspended this year. He hasn't missed a single game from injury.
Wow.
The only 6 games he's missed, the only games he's missed his entire career was this year when he got suspended. He's a 3-time All-Pro. He's been a Pro Bowler every year besides this year. That whole Cardinals defense sucked. I still think that they have some work to do, but I think they made good moves.
Chandler Jones and Patrick Peterson, and then the rest is.
It's rough. It's rough, but I think they'll be a lot better this year. I have faith in him. Like I think he's going to go back to being just as good as he can be. Now I have him lower than Richard Sherman because Patrick Peterson's someone I think relies all on athleticism, and he follows the number one guy all around. Where Sherman's game, I think, ages better. That's why I had more faith in him going forward, but we'll get to that. And I also think Richard Sherman was much better than Patrick Peterson last year. But that's kind of my piece on Peterson. I think he's a stud. I'm not worried about him in the future. I think he's still going to be good.
I mean, honestly, I think it was like 4 a.m. when you texted me, and for some reason I was still awake.
Me too. Me too. I was like, what is going on?
And I was like,
what keeps me up all day.
And no, I was like, wow, maybe because I had him in my like general discussion. I was like, he's top 10. And then like you got me thinking about it. And I was like, and I looked through like his numbers and from what I remember about the last 2 years, and just like just falling off a little bit. But
honestly, I mean, it comes down to the 3 things I always say because last year was not his greatest year. I think he'll be fine next year. I think the defense is improving. I think that
the suspension could have
pick up.
The suspension could have been.
And then it's just like, do I have faith in him going forward? Absolutely. The guy never missed time. Like he's healthy every single game. It blew me away. I was like, why wouldn't you have faith in him? There's younger guys on this list that have been hurt more than Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that was my piece.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not. No arguments. I'm just didn't make the cut from me.
Me neither. Didn't make my list. I just I just think, and I don't even think he's lost a step. I just think it's situational. I mean, he just gets picked on all day long. So
yeah. Well, I think that team is really just Chandler Jones and him. Where I would like to see him perform a little bit better because he's a corner, and I feel like he doesn't, really need other great corners around him or safeties. Chandler Jones is a one-man pass rush. But we'll see. So, all right, what do we got? 7?
7, yep.
Yep. So is it still me? All right. So
it's you.
All night, I got it.
You got it.
All right. So I went Casey Hayward.
All right, cool.
Interesting.
Like that.
It's funny. We matched up again.
I know. I love the fact that he was targeted 47 times and allowed 26 receptions on 512 coverage snaps. That's my first really good factoid of the night.
He's got some good stats to him. I'll admit that.
It's just like crazy to me that he's like that good. I think, as like I was saying earlier, he's a shadow. He goes wherever you ask him to go. He's physical. He tackles. He's big play all day long. I mean, and you look at like that defense this year.
Oh, they're going to be good.
It's
him and Desmond King are a nice deal with Derwin James behind them.
Every level.
And Chris Harris, yeah.
Chris Harris is going to be patrolling the slot.
That's one of the best trios at cornerback. That's probably the best secondary in the NFL.
That's got to be. I mean, Derwin James is the best, probably the best safety when healthy. I mean, it's got to be. So
good pass rush. I think that they're going to excel.
I think he could be higher on my list next year. I think he could be someone that has like a crazy year, a Gilmore type year, a really, really standout.
I'm shocked. I had him at like 6 and 7, and I pushed him back because I thought you two weren't going to have him.
I love him.
Honestly, if you asked me without like getting into it and researching, I would have never even sniffed my top 10. But I did. It was you brought up the good stats. Like he just has a lot of those like
hidden
very
numbers.
few yardage. Like I mean, well, I had him at 7 too, so I might have to steal your thunder again. Like he was 4th in PFF last year. Take that with what you want. But another stat I saw is he gave up 329 yards all year last year. He had 11 games under 25 given up. Like that is horrific. Like that if I had a wide receiver on my fantasy team and had less than 25 yards, I'd be furious.
He's like a cheat code.
Yeah, and another thing I touched on Peterson with this, but last 4 seasons he's played 62 out of 64 games. Yeah, he's already like in my chemistry. He's proven himself. Last year he was really good, and he's like a veteran who's proven himself. And I still think he'll be fine going forward.
What was that Slay and Gilmore number you were talking about? Was that passes defended or deflected?
Defended, yeah, passes defended.
Yeah, he in 2016, 7 picks and 20 passes deflect. Like then next year 22 passes deflect. Like what?
Who's that? Hayward.
Hayward, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's got good numbers. Yeah, that's like Gilmore had 20 this year, and then so he did. But You know what? He's definitely underrated.
Super underrated.
Yeah, I really like.
Nobody talks about him.
I had to do a top 10 list of corners for me to really find out how good he was. To be honest with you, because you factor in I think that defense is gonna be nice.
In your defense, I know a lot about him because I did Madden franchise online with some friends last year, and I choose the Chargers, so I played with all their players. So I knew he was really good.
I knew it.
So, but yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, guy's a stud.
So number, let's see,
7 for you.
number 7, yeah. So this is where a guy that Hall of Famer. But I had him a little higher and moved him around, then had him outside my top 10, then put him back in. And so number 7, I have Mr. Richard Sherman. I based a lot of it off of what I actually watched this past year, and every time they were
the Super Bowl. So you watched the Super Bowl, and that's why.
Every time the Niners were in prime time, it was just like,
oh, I don't know about that.
They had 2 high-scoring games with the Seahawks, and Sherman was getting torched, and then.
Would you trust Sherman against the top 5 receivers in the NFL?
In the zone scheme, yeah. If they were running the zone coverage, I think he doesn't need to follow him. He's been, you said Hall of Famer, All Pro as a zone guy. Like he's just the best zone guy, and that's gonna, age better than just being an athletic guy that follows around people.
Well, I will say I do respect him a lot, and I have this odd jersey. I don't know where I got it from, but it's Seahawks Sherman. It's like a weird gray.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
like look paper jersey.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why I don't know. I don't think they've ever worn this, but
interesting. It looks like a fraternity jersey. But all right. I mean, fair enough. So 7. Okay, let's. That's all right. I mean, I don't have him too much higher than he's like I'm not like top 3, but I do think.
Tim, I pulled a page out of your book and I pushed him back in favor of a younger guy. So
see, that's But I don't know. Now that we're in our top 6 now, the top 6 was a lock for me. Like these guys are like I could have changed them out in any order, to be honest with you. Besides one, I could have changed any of them. I think they're all like solid.
So let's start it off then.
All right. So this young man now joins a phenomenal secondary. He's now alongside Marcus Peters. It's Humphrey Marlin, that is. And the guy, to me, is just a physical freak. I think he's got that combination of speed and physicality, and he's young, and he's going to a defense now that preaches speed and aggression, and they just want you to be an animal out there. And I think that fits what he wants to do, and they're going to let him just go out there and just make plays. They know they got Peters on the other side. I mean, he was honestly like on my mind to put him into like the top 5, top 3. I put him here. I thought it was a perfect spot for him. I'll just throw, a kind of a weird stat out there. He allowed a 49.3 passer rating on throws targeted, 10 plus yards past the line of scrimmage, the 6th best among qualifying corners. And that's why he's my number 6 boy.
Listen, you know what? You're doing a great job as a guest, because I had Marlon Humphrey 6 as well.
Oh my God. We did not share.
I like this. You're doing well. You're doing well. But I mean, this is like you said. He could be top 3. The next 6, I could move them around in any place. Like I think they're all elite. He was, All Pro last year. 14 pass defended, 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. That Ravens defense just makes turnovers. He had 2 touchdowns himself. I think, when Marcus Peters got there, it was the perfect mixture, and you'll see him later on my list. But Marlon Humphrey's like a smart corner who can lock down anyone. He's very physical. Like he's what all Nick Saban, D-backs come out to be. Like I feel like him and Minka are like 2 of the smartest D-backs in the NFL right now, and they're young guys.
D-backs or D-bags? What was that?
D-backs. Watch it. This is a family show. Watch it.
Yeah. No, I like Humphreys. I had him slightly higher.
Yeah, you could move him anyway. I really like the mixture between, because I think he is a good
They also have a really good probably close to the Chargers secondary, honestly, with Thomas, Jefferson, Humphreys, Peters.
Yeah,
the guy's a stud. He was 4th.
Jimmy Smith.
4th rated in coverage for PFF. Yeah, Jimmy Smith's good. Incredible nickel to have.
Top 20.
I wouldn't really want him on my outside, but he's an incredible nickel.
He's a good nickel.
All right. I mean, is that you done with Humphreys, Tim?
I'm satisfied.
Okay. So this is for me. This is where this was besides number 1. This was the second one I penciled in. So at number 6, I had Darius Slay. Kind of felt right because I had Wentz at 6, and I think it's a good spot for a bird. And it's not because he's an Eagle. I've watched him play for years now, and I love how he plays. He's a physical, a super athletic corner. Like you said, like that, clip you showed where he's barely reacted at the last second, was able to make a catch, but not even looking,
He went up like a wide receiver.
Yeah, that's it. He reminds him and Peterson are kind of similar in that same build where they're super athletic. Yeah, I like the guy. Super stoked that he's on the Birds. And the one thing I looked at, so 2018, he was targeted. Last year too, he was targeted in the mid 90s. But 2018 was targeted 94 times, and only gave up a 46% completion percentage. That's pretty damn good for being targeted almost 100 times.
It's pretty amazing that they targeted him 94 times, on a 3-13 horrific team. Their secondary was so bad they had to draft a cornerback top 5 and sign Trufant to a bunch of money.
I think there were times they were just blowing them out by so much they were just running the ball. Yeah, let's get out of Detroit.
Yeah, I like him. 2017 was that year he was an All-Pro, had 8 picks. That's crazy for a corner.
A lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love him. He's still got, he's still in his prime, 29 years old. So hopefully we'll get a couple of good years out of him in Philly. So looking forward to it.
He's got to be the best cornerback in Philly since Asante Samuel, without a doubt. It's not even close.
Yeah. That's
it for 6. We're on number 5. All right. So this boy's 22 years old, and I love his last name. He is probably going to be – I think I can say this. He's, in my opinion, in the next 2 years, he's going to be the best corner in the league, and it's Jair Alexander for the Packers. I told him he was going to come back for me on the list.
Top 5.
That's very high.
Huh. Yeah.
I want to hear this because I'm not going to lie. I didn't put him in my top 10, so I'm curious. I know he's good. I don't know. I don't know
if I put him at 5, but
so I'm curious though. I want to hear it.
Just kind of an eye test for me. So I watched a lot of Packers games because I had Devontae Adams, Aaron, and Jones on my fantasy team. So I was watching him for some reason, I feel like I watched all their games, and he's a smaller guy. He draws every big assignment they have. He only allowed an 87.8 passer rating. It's not great. It's not lockdown, but he's 22 years old. And
I did not know he was that young. That's
22. He's 22.
Wait, what was he when you drafted? Was he 20?
20.
He's been in the league for 2 years.
My notes say he's 23 and a half, but
really?
He was born in 97, according to Pro Football Focus.
With a fact check.
They have.
You can fact check. At 22, 23, he's still super.
Yeah, all right. So he could be 23 now. That I could be wrong, but I could be.
Did you know he's from Philadelphia?
Here. But the kid to me is just he has that swag that I look for in a corner, and he goes everywhere you ask him to go. He had a whole bunch of picks last year. I don't have the exact numbers, but he had a bunch of them, and he draws every big assignment. I love the way that he plays. Maybe he busts, but I have him at 5 this year.
Fair enough. Listen, I think he's good. I think he's a young guy. I just didn't have him that high. He could make a breakout year though this year. They got a nice pass rush in front of him.
I like him too. I felt him and Ward were kind of in the same boat where coming into their 3rd year, they've done great so far, but they're not quite top 5 for me yet. But I mean you defended it pretty solidly. I feel like he does play in a tough division, so he has to go against the best receivers that those teams have. So
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe it's a little high. It could have been a little high. I might have been a little high when I threw him in there, but I like him. I think he's good.
I do have those people that you watch fantasy games and just that guy you fall in love with.
Yeah,
I only know you as the third wide receiver on the Cincinnati Bengals because I have Joe Mixon on my team and I watch all their games. The reason that anyone knows you.
And his last name is Alexander, which I like.
Fair enough.
Solid little connection there.
Yeah.
So number 5, I will say we've been having we've been having a good like back and forth here, like players really close. So I had Humphreys at number 5. Yeah, I mean all the things you guys said. I think he's super. He's like really young. Let me double check. 24. Like he just turned 24 like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, like already made an All-Pro and a Pro Bowl. He's going into his 4th year now. I just like what I see. I think that's one thing about the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like we've had a Raven in every list at this point. Like 8 episodes in, it's just like they got talent all around the team. So they'll be Super Bowl contenders again for sure, especially with Lamar. But I like Humphreys a lot. I think they're in a good placement there with that secondary. I don't see him declining. So
no, he's a freak.
I don't really have much more to add. I feel like you guys hit on it pretty well. So
yeah, I like them.
That was fair. I'm not gonna lie. I must have got bad connection or anything, and I was calling the entire time. I didn't hear much of the argument, but it seems like everything went okay.
Good stuff.
I saw your picture drop out for a second, and I was like, "Oh, there you go."
Yeah, I saw you.
Yeah, like kicked it. Well, I was frozen, and then it kicked me out, and then I came back in. But yeah, I concur with your opinion.
Cool.
Smart move.
All right, so let's just keep. Wait, Tim. Oh yeah, you got number 5 still.
Yeah, you got 5.
So my top 5. So this is my second participant from the All-Decade team. We actually have been talking about him so far a lot. I went with Richard Sherman at 5.
I'm not gonna lie. I had him at 5 for a long time, and then moved him back in favor of Humphreys because I had Humphreys at 7. But I
could have moved Humphrey. I mean, it comes down. Last year he had a great year. He was All-Pro. He was the number 1 rated guy on PFF. He gave up, whatever metric you want to look up, 8.4 yards per reception. That's 3rd in the league. I know he gave up, more receptions maybe than you like, but he's been fine. He's been a stud. He only gave up one
wait, you said he was number 1 on PFF. Did you also have Quentin Dunbar on your list? Who they had number 2?
I had him at number 1 on the list.
No, listen. I had him. Richard Sherman was better than Quentin Dunbar, so he made the list. That's why. But again, I think that his game is going to age well. He's very smart. He knows how to play cornerback. He's a very smart player.
I would hope so.
Everything.
32.
He's a physical guy. He doesn't rely on being the fastest guy in the world. He's physical. That's why he struggled against the Super Bowl, because he was going against a fast group of wide receivers.
Track team.
Now,
he might be the tallest corner on my list. I'm just looking now.
For sure. That's how. But the other thing is he plays on a defense where they have great pass rush. They have young stud pass rushers. So they need a cornerback that can jam guys, hold them from a couple seconds, and then they're going to eventually get to them. I think the Chiefs, I talked about Mitchell Schwartz when we did offensive tackles and how amazing he did during that playoff run. I think it's just, they couldn't get the pass rush there every time. Richard Sherman got torched in a couple of those. But I still have complete faith in him. If you look at his career, he's been amazing every year besides 2. The year he got hurt and last year with the Seahawks, and then 2 years ago with the Niners when they were awful, when Jimmy G went down. But then once they got good and they got respectable, he was right back to his immediate all-pro self.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at it how, he started he stepped in a lot. He played 10 games as a rookie and then started the rest of his career. But, we were talking about, what was it? I think it was Slay that we were like, yeah, he had 8 interceptions or whatever one year. I heard a couple times we said 7. Sherman did 8 back-to-back. His peak years of the Legion of Boom, he had, he was peak Legion of Boom. He made, three straight All-Pros?
Yeah, it was incredible. He's a Hall of Famer for what he did there.
Oh, yeah.
That's arguably the best secondary we've ever seen for our eyes, boys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to give him points more. He resurrected his career. Earl Thomas is doing really good with the Ravens, and I rated him pretty good when we did the safeties. But they're 2 guys that left the Legion of Boom, went to a new team, and are still producing at a very high level.
Do you have I don't have any Patrick Peterson notes. When was he drafted? 2011 too?
You unprepared, unprofessional person.
I don't have notes for people on my list, but
yeah, 2011. Disgusting.
How many Pro Bowls is honestly it was.
So that top 5 is amazing.
How many so Sherman has 5 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros. How many does Peterson have? I'm just curious.
Oh, I have this right here. He has 4 All-Pros. And then Pro Bowl, he was a Pro Bowler every year besides last year. He was a Pro Bowler because you have to factor in he was a Pro Bowler.
9 or 8 Pro Bowls, that's.
He wasn't a Pro Bowler last year.
No, he wasn't a Pro Bowler last year. But you also got to factor in a couple of those.
But he didn't play
as a returner.
Yeah.
Peterson has some of this stuff as a returner.
But he would still get a Pro Bowl nod if he made it. He would still.
Well, yeah, I know, but one of his All Pros, the one in his rookie year, he was in a rookie year, I think All Pro as a returner.
I mean, in Sherman's defense, the only time he didn't make Pro Bowl was his rookie year because he only played 10 games, and then that like end of his Seattle career, and then his first year in San Fran. So
Well, that's what I said. I mean, he's literally had 2 bad years.
yeah,
The year he got hurt, the last year was Seattle when things were starting to fall apart.
I don't know why everybody like at the end of their career in Seattle like just it's a shit show every time.
Well,
Everyone's out. It's like they've had enough.
I honestly think that it was the throwing the ball on the 1 yard line. Things are different when you have 2 Super Bowl rings. Everyone's friendly and gets along then.
I mean, Earl Thomas was like asking other coaches to come trade for him after the game. So
also flipped him off as he was going off on the
which
cart.
I don't respect that, but that's
the guy's just mad. He wanted another deal and then he got hurt. He wanted another deal because what if I get hurt? And then he got hurt. I'd be pissed too.
He was like, "Screw you guys! I'm
not gonna flip off my whole team though."
Who cares? It's fine. Everyone got over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I mean, like you said, literally the longevity. He's had the 2 bad years. One was due to injury, and one was his team was terrible. I have faith in him going forward. I think his game ages really well. Like if you're asking for me, if I need a corner for 3 more years, Richard Sherman's near the top of the list.
I mean,
are elite
you
now? 35. He's not relying.
Are you in there watching him do cardio?
Listen,
I give him like 1 or 2 years left in top 10, 15 territory, and then corners don't last that long, buddy.
You got to imagine. Look at the team he's on.
Especially like he said, with speed.
Aren't going to get bad. Their pass rush is amazing, and he's perfect with a good pass rush because he can.
You think he's Champ Bailey?
He plays. Look, dude. He does not rely on outrunning anyone. That's why he struggled against the Chiefs. He's not the fastest. His game will translate.
He's the smartest.
Overage.
Yeah,
he plays down. He's never followed the guy, and most of the time he's so big he just jacks people up, and they can't get past him by the time the pass rush gets there.
The only problem is when Tyreek goes right by him.
Well, see, that's a problem for a lot of people, though. Don't just say that's his problem. That's a problem with a lot of people.
You're right.
I have faith in him.
I don't know. I mean, I'm shocked he is still at 32 balling, because I think Revis at this point in his career
But
was.
See, they played different games. Revis was always follow every single guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, man, especially when you start losing your speed. Because you're going against the best guy, they're going to take advantage of any mistake.
Playing press that's a wear on your body too, though.
Yeah, but he's not always going against the best guy. It's like Matt Ryan's staring Julio Jones down every play. If the corner falls over or sneezes, it's going his way.
Yeah.
He's got Tim Mullins lined up next to him half the time.
Yeah, that's right. Listen,
based on Earl Thomas with you last time, I figured you were going to have Sherman a little high, so I'm not surprised. But I mean,
like we said, they're 2 of the key cornerstones, architects, and one of the greatest defenses ever.
Based on last year alone, I would say he played like a top 5 corner, but I just had to factor in age, what I saw.
Listen, I get it. He's the oldest one on my list.
Hey, he was 7 on me. That's not too far off from 5.
Oh no, I was like I said, I had him better than 7-8, but I only had him at 5. Like he didn't get in my top 5. My top 5, the rest of them are much younger, and I think that they're they're definitely in the top 5 range, and they're just as good as Sherman is now.
Well, I know someone in your top 4 that I don't have in my list, and I'm a little.
I think so too.
Okay, good.
Because I'm looking at my list and I'm like, there's got to be one.
Tim, this is the one time that you're in the wrong for once. So
we're going to find out real quick.
Oh, I'm missing in my top 5. All right, we'll see. I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah. All right, so on to number 4, right? We're there?
Number 4.
All right, so this young man is out of Cleveland, Ohio, Glenville. He is a 2-time Pro Bowler in 2017, 2019, and the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, Marshawn Lattimore.
Attaboy, I had him at number 4 as well.
Marshawn Lattimore, my young friends, is an absolute dynamo at corner. This guy brings, like I keep saying, that swag into and out of New Orleans. Wherever they go, it seems like since he started on that team, their defense just got better, just kept getting better. And I just think he has he's 6 foot, he's up 200 pounds. I mean, what do you want out of your corner? He covers everybody. He's in your face. He's been on a national champion in college. I mean, he's a winner. And I think, if it wasn't for some crazy bad call in the NFC Championship game, probably would have a Super Bowl because the Saints probably go to that Super Bowl and
relax.
win. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
he's
Was
everything.
I rooting for the Vikings that game? Absolutely, but
Not that play. Not that play.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, okay, my bad. My bad.
Whoever was in that tackle.
Oh no, you're right. I 1,000% agree with you there.
Yeah,
D Ford and the referees just ruined that Super
The fact that D Ford has made an appearance in like every episode is almost amazing.
Because that was like,
took himself out of the yellow pages.
After historic.
Because you know what, I'll never forget. I forget who the guy was, but it was right before the championship games, and he was like, you know what, this has been a great year for the NFL. The drama's been very low. Mahomes is a new superstar. They're killing the ratings. They've got 4 great teams to be in the Super Bowl. There's no way they can have a bad Super Bowl, no matter what. And then you got the penalty call, which just ruined everything. I think everyone was okay with the Rams being there, but then once you see that penalty call, it's like, you don't deserve to be here. You didn't beat them. Like, you should have lost. And then D Ford takes away the hottest act in the NFL, and we could have got the Rams versus the Chiefs, part 2, in the Super Bowl.
We could have gotten Saints, Chiefs. We could have gotten the best teams in football, which we should have got.
A 13-6 game that no one wanted to watch with a crippled Todd Gurley and Bill Belichick just schooling Sean McVay. But you both have Lattimore higher than I did, and I like Lattimore. It's just my thing. I think he's very good. I think he's going to be good, but the thing is, I know rookie season was really good, but that he hasn't produced the same season since then. So I know it's not a big drop, and he was really high up when he kind of slipped a little bit. But I feel like I like everyone else. I think they're still on the ascend, even the veteran guys like Peterson and Sherman. So that was one reason I put him a little bit,
a little bit disrespectful, yeah. So you had
listen. He hasn't had
all over you today, Dakota.
We had him at 4 because we're intelligent. And let me give you some education. I'll give you to a free class, Tim. Ready for this?
It's about time. I've been educating you with 8 episodes now. It's about time I got something out of this.
I believe it was our second episode. We did wide receivers. You had Mr. Mike Evans at number 4. Marshawn Lattimore has to face him twice a year. He has to face Julio twice a year. And then, pretty decent receivers in Carolina with Curtis Samuel and forget his other name now.
Oh, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Like DJ Moore too.
So Mike Evans, first game they played in October, 3 targets, 0 catches for Mike Evans. Second game they played in November, 8 targets, 4 catches, 69 yards, not bad, but no touchdowns. Against Julio.
This year?
This year, yeah, 2019.
Okay.
Against Julio, 9 targets, only 3 catches, 79 yards. One of them was a big catch. No touchdowns. Curtis Samuel, end of the season, 4 targets, 2 catches, 13 yards. And then Samuel again, 4 targets, 1 catch, 9 yards. Like, the dude locks up, the number 1 receiver time after time. And I get it. Like, he was defensive rookie of the year and, statistically hasn't been up to that. And, the Saints defense and, their whole team seems to collapse in the playoffs for whatever reason. But I just agreed with everything he was saying about how, he's a baller. He's, only 24 and he's going to keep getting better. And he's already at this peak right now, locking down not like our top 5 receivers. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. I just think
I'll give you that he does, it's impressive what he does against the division. I just, the main thing was like his best year was and has been his rookie year. He hasn't really made the next step. It was a very high up there, so it's maybe a little unfair to make.
But like, does he need to make a next step if he's still holding?
No, I mean,
Mike Evans to no catches and like.
What more can he do? I mean,
like, what do you want him to get? Negative catches for Mike Evans? Like,
that's true. Yeah, I hear you, and that's something that's hard with corners. That could also be that he's getting more respect because rookie year, you're going to challenge the rookie, and then as it goes on, you kind of just look, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to throw this guy, so he hasn't had the opportunity to make the stats, but. I mean, it was a tough list. I still feel okay with the people I put ahead of him, to be honest.
Even after we just took you to a master class, you still want to leave him at 10?
See, the only thing is I don't know who I would put him. Like, at 9, I have Slay.
But, like, you said that you would take Sherman over the next 3 years or just about anybody. You would take Sherman over Lattimore over the next 3 years. Lattimore's 24.
Just turned 24.
You know what? But the thing with Sherman is he's in literally the best situation he could dream of. He's got the pass rush there. He's got the team. And the pass rush isn't going anywhere. Like, they just signed Armstead. And
Saints have a decent pass rush.
Yeah, but
they do.
I think the defense that they run is perfect for the from Richard Sherman and what the Niners try to do. And, I I just feel Richard Sherman was also, I think last year was better than Marshawn Lattimore. I think he's better than he is right now. Lattimore would have to improve significantly to be better than 2019 Richard Sherman.
What happens if Richard Sherman tears his pectoral muscle? Is he coming back?
But what did you
Marshawn Lattimore tears his ACL? There's a lot of things.
What did you just tell us? You said that he's in a great situation because what? He has an incredible defensive line. Lattimore's out there doing everything on his own. He has no secondary help. Where the Niners have a decent secondary. They're no.
Well, yeah, I think the Niners defense is better, but
by far, their
I don't
secondary
think the Saints is awful.
Yeah, but I'm saying Lattimore is arguably the best player on that defense. Is Sherman the best player on the Niners defense?
I don't even think you could put him in the top 3.
I mean, I would say Bosa probably, and then Richard Sherman next. You could say Cam Jordan's better than Marshawn Lattimore. I wouldn't. Listen, I wouldn't do that, but
I mean, Cam's he's a good DN.
I just think the factor, and Richard Sherman did not have a bad year last year. He was an elite cornerback.
No. He
best defense in football.
He did have,
but what are you going to punish him for that?
No. Okay, so
he's a part of it.
I knew you were going to do this. So yes, Sherman had an elite year last year. Okay, but 2 years ago, the past few years, he hasn't done much until this year when the Niners put together this crazy defense. And then what? They went to the Super Bowl and he couldn't perform. I just look at that and his age and the fact that he's slower.
He had two down years in his entire career.
You're giving him
one. He got hurt. The other time, the team went and had 2 wins because their quarterback tore his ACL in week 1.
You're giving him a benefit because he plays with good players. That's backwards.
No. They go hand in hand. Maybe Nick Bosa gets all the sacks because Richard Sherman's just
blocking quarterback. Jalen Mills is a monster too because he has great defensive line.
That's irrelevant. That doesn't make sense.
He's coming up next.
Look, I know I've said some sketchy things in my time, but I can't wait to hear your defense on this one guy coming up. I almost need to pull up notes just to combat you.
I have a guess. It's probably the next person.
I think it's the next person.
It's got to be the next person because the next 3 should be pretty unanimous.
I think our top 3.
Wow. Neither of you had him in the top 10. Are you? Wow. Really?
I'm really excited for your defense, Tim. Please.
I can't wait to hear this.
This will be. Oh my God.
Hold on. Let me pull up his numbers real quick. I don't even need you. I know who he is. You don't even need to tell me. Let's see.
I'm just surprised. I don't know what you guys are seeing that I'm not.
No, it's what are you seeing?
What are you seeing? We're not.
Oh boy. All right. You go whenever you're ready, Tim.
All right. Well, now I'm kind of shocked that you don't have.
Alex and I have been on the same page the whole time. It's you that's been shooting nonsense all over the place.
All right. Well,
Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. All of a sudden, what's the next surprise?
I'll just talk with the accolades and stats first. I do have a highlight for him, by the way, so get excited.
Oh,
at least you have something to support the madness.
All right. So number 4.
Drum roll, please.
I've got Marcus Peters.
Oh, my God. Please tell me why he belongs in the top 10.
I threw him out of there.
I didn't even consider him.
Come on, give it to him.
Shocked that you guys don't have – I'm confused. I
texted you when we were talking about Peterson. I said, there's 2 people in PFF's top 3 that I did not have in my list. It was Marcus Peters and it was Quentin Dunbar because they're great – they're good corners, sure, but they are not top 10.
No consistency in their game. I can't
exactly.
Just take one great year.
But go ahead. Defend the Marcus Peters.
I'll get to that.
3 teams in a year.
No one wants him.
Okay. All right. So, like you said, 3rd on Pro Football Focus. He was also a 2019 All-Pro and Pro Bowler.
Darius Slay was also 45 on PFF, but go ahead.
He was an All-Pro Bowler last year. The guy had – all right, this is my first interesting fact. So, first off, because he's
at least they're interesting.
He's only had 1 good year. That's why in 2015, his rookie year, even better, he had 26 pass defenses.
I didn't say he only had 1 good year. I just said
he's Alex
bouncing
did.
around.
You'll get your time.
Okay.
Alex said he only wanted. 2015. Remember that stat I said with Darius Slay? He was tied 4th all-time ever with the most pass defense in the season. Marcus Peters is also tied for 4th with 26. Stephon Gilmore had 20 this year. Just
if you're not first, you're last. So go on.
Yeah, that's true. Well, He's a two-time All-Pro, three-time Pro Bowler for the people at home that think he has only had 1 year. He is a playmaker. He had 3 touchdowns last year. Now that is equal to the same amount as Juju Smith-Schuster, Sammy Watkins, Darren Waller. He had more than Brandon Cooks, and he had the same amount of rushing touchdowns as Leonard Fournette. Now, you may have thought, wow, why is he saying all these names? They sound like they're on offense. How could a defensive player have more touchdowns than an offensive player?
He had 1 rushing touchdown.
Hey, listen,
he definitely didn't have more rushing touchdowns. He definitely had more touchdowns.
I didn't say Marcus Peters had rushing touchdowns. I said Leonard.
No, you said he had more rushing touchdowns.
Oh, my God. It was defensive touchdowns, obviously.
Okay.
All right.
You never know with you. It might not be obvious.
You're all comedians.
Already had that J.J. Watt year.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on. Let me get back to some other stuff because he sucks. He's been on 3 teams. Boo hoo. The guy's not the best locker room person off the field.
That's a concern.
It was. Terrell Owens had a problem staying on teams, but he's still in the Hall of Fame.
Marcus Peters is not Terrell Owens.
Well,
Not first ballot.
So he's been in the league for 5 seasons. 27 interceptions in his career. That's, for the people at home that are struggling with their calculators, just a niched over 5 a year. 6 touchdowns in his career. Did you know that the record for most defensive touchdowns in a career is 13? He's already nearly halfway there in 5 seasons.
How old is he?
You got me on that one. He's only been in the league for 5 years. He's
probably like 26-7.
Yeah. He's 26.
He's got a shot at it.
Now, here's another fun one. He's led the league in return yards 3 of the 5 years he's been in the league. This guy is a playmaker. Let me show you a wonderful little clip that I have because I just bring facts and knowledge and fun.
Yeah, cheers to Tim's foolishness.
Hold on, okay. So this is, just some slump of a quarterback, Russell Wilson. You'll see Marcus Peters is right here.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this microwave amount of frames going on right now.
Now, I just want you to focus on one thing with Russell Wilson. Watch him. He's going to have a little pump fake.
Russell Wilson, my number 2 quarterback.
Oh, look at that. But did you see the pump fake? Did we see the pump fake?
I probably could have picked that off. That was pretty easy.
Second.
So let's go back to the other angle where that pump fake is going to be very important. Watch Peters. He's going to ditch his guy, go take this guy who probably was the pump fake, and away 2 options for him at the same exact time.
All right. Good. Yep.
You see Russell Wilson try to go deep, and Peters reads that, steps back.
I will say that was
time. The guy has so much recovery time. He gets burnt a lot. Don't get me wrong. He does get burnt, but he gambles. He's a touchdown machine though. For 3 touchdowns last year himself, I can take a burnt, every once in a while.
I'll say that play was impressive that he was able to get back quickly, but
he gets back
fast. But the only reason Russell threw to that guy is because he left him when he shouldn't have.
Exactly, and he baited him into it. But he must. It's like
all right, fair enough.
Trying to do there. You got to look. What's amazing is he takes the first option away just by stepping back. But at the same time, while he's doing that, he's setting up the next option. He's leaving a guy wide open that he's going to get a jump on. Full head of steam, take that ball and run all the way back.
He reminds me a lot of Asante Samuel.
At times.
I'm fine with that. He is, but his speed to come back, like you see cornerbacks run the drills in the combine where they're touching the cones, they're switching their hips and everything. He does it better than anyone else, to be honest with you. You could argue maybe, a handful of other guys, but the amount of times this guy gives up on his guy, like he just gives up on his guy and then will run right back and bite and get the interception.
Yeah, fair. Look, if we were talking about the Chiefs, Marcus Peters, I probably would have had him top 10. I thought he was going to be, a rising star. The way he was.
Marcus Peters with the Ravens is, you could say, even better. Go ahead.
I thought he was a rising star coming with the Chiefs. And then that last year he had with Kansas City was all over the place. And then, he was traded to the Rams and had he was terrible. I don't know how you can defend the fact that it's right. I don't have them printed out because he wasn't in my top 10. Let me pull these up real quick.
I was looking for mine too.
Yeah. 2018 with the Rams.
Wait, do you want to be applauded for being unprepared? That won't happen.
2018 with the Rams, he was targeted 78 times, 50 completions allowed, 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's a top 10 cornerback? Come on. That's only last year.
That was 2 years ago. I'm talking about last year.
You act like 2018 was 20,000 years ago. It was literally the season before last year.
Yeah, but do you know what was more recent than 2018? Last year.
All right, let's look at last year.
Like, what do you? He was amazing last year. He had 3 touchdowns himself. That defense exploded once he got there. Him and Humphrey are the perfect combination because Humphrey plays super smart and he can lock down guys. He could take the number 1 wide receiver and let Marcus Peters roam against the lesser threats and take advantage of it. He's a playmaker.
I'm not saying he can't recover and he can't be a good player with the Ravens. He could have a great year, and then he could have a great year. He
already did it.
Look,
he was an All-Pro last year.
Look, I get it. You're very weird with your list where you'll be like, oh, this guy was a Hall of Famer, and then all of a sudden, he's way up your list, even though he's been declining. And then you go to like the players who like are bouncing around, and then they have one good year in 2019. You're like, oh my god, these guys are the best.
You're talking
there's
about
a reason.
One good year. You're saying his one bad
year. Bro, he was on the Chiefs, got traded to the Rams, and then was thrown away to the Ravens.
No, he wasn't thrown away.
Wrong. He had more than one good year, but he's very
I'm surprised that Gazelle has a lot of ridiculous opinions, but I'm surprised both of you didn't even have him in your top 10.
Look,
how do you excuse that?
I liked him at a time, but I don't think he's top 10 right now based off last year and the years that he's.
If you're not the best corner on your team, I just have an issue with putting you on my top 10.
Stop with that.
2 corners on the Ravens have the best corners in the league?
Yes.
Okay, that's your opinion. I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, what would he?
I don't know about that.
Would he have been in your list if he finished the season on the Rams? I don't think so.
But I'm only grading him off what actually happened.
He benefits from being on a team with Earl Thomas and Humphreys. I think he played well with the Ravens. I'm not knocking him for that. I'm just saying the fact that he's been bouncing around teams already and he's so young, and it's concerning.
You could also say that's even more impressive. He's played 3 different schemes.
No, that's not impressive.
3 different defenses and succeeded in 2 of them. You could say the Rams was a miss. That's fine. But 2 out of the 3 different schemes, as a young player, to bounce through that many different defenses, that's impressive.
The Chiefs didn't want to
play himself.
The Chiefs didn't want to pay him. Obviously, they saw something. And then his attitude was terrible, so they were like, see ya, you're out of here. Then he was at the Rams. The Rams were like, we don't even want you anymore because you're trash. We'd rather just ship you away and get Jalen Ramsey instead. It's like, I don't know. It's just, like I said. Okay.
I guess not shipping him away for Jalen Ramsey because it's Jalen Ramsey.
Again, that wasn't the best point I could have made, but look.
Since you mentioned the trade, obviously Ramsey's in all of our top 3s.
Yes.
If you look at it this way, would you rather have, after seeing what Marcus Peters did with the Ravens, would you rather have Marcus Peters or give up 2 first-round picks and sign Jalen Ramsey to a massive contract, which you will have to do to get Jalen Ramsey?
What did they trade for?
2 first-round picks. And if they don't sign him,
no. For Marcus Peters, what was the trade for that?
Oh, a 5th-round pick and Kenny Young, I think. It was some veteran guy. They gave him away because they couldn't afford to pay him both.
Based on the fact that Jalen Ramsey is a top 3 corner, and I know what I'm getting with him, and he's got his issues off the field and with teammates, whatever. But you're over here, yelling and the fact that he's going to get paid a lot, but there's a reason he's going to get paid a lot is because he's one of the best at what he does. I would still take Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if I would take him for 2 first-round picks. That's a lot of capital, but
I can't believe you both didn't have him in the top 10. I
can't believe you did.
I'm not surprised this is the guy that we.
I'm shocked. Like, he had such a good year last year.
You know what's funny with when we did edge rushers, like Tim and Josh like hit on a lot of the same players, and I was the one on the outside. And now me and Alex are hitting on all the same, and you're on the outside. So it's a nice little flip.
It's a nice flip. I agree.
I'm just shocked that he's not in your top 10. I
had him at 9. And then it was either I keep him at 9 or I have Darius Slay, and I was just like, how do I not have Darius Slay in my top 10? And it was just that was the deciding factor.
Are you ready, Tim? Ready?
No,
this might be reversed. Look, honorable mentions. Marcus Peters is on there.
Yeah, he was an honorable mention. He was one of the, I told you there was 12. He was in the 12.
I had 6 other honorable mentions, but yeah, he was.
So yeah, the 12 was hardest for me because I think we all have the same top 3. So my 12, the ones that were next on my list that were hard to get rid of was Xavier Howard.
Okay.
I wanted to get him on that list.
He was so hurt. He was hurt last year, and
this is a good point to get our just misses in.
Yeah.
So the one thing that was crazy about him is, like, I know he's been a little consistent since, but 7 interceptions in 2018 in 12 games.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even throwing the ball?
Okay, wait, but in case, unless I'm mistaken, none of us have Byron Jones, correct?
We don't.
No,
That was
I don't
gonna be my
have
number one.
Okay, I looked at a ton of lists, and they were like Byron Jones was like top five, and I was like,
Yeah.
No.
did you watch him at all? Like,
No,
Get
he's
I
not
can
top
get
five.
it.
he's an athletic freak, but that's like he's not like an incredible corner by any standard.
He's not
He
a
was-
physical. He's not like a big. He's not like a. He's
Yeah.
a really fat.
He's just a good. He got paid a lot because he was the best corner on the market, and that's not saying
Well,
much.
yeah. Well, I do like that tandem though. I think the tandem is pretty good. You know, because then Howard's going to play the number one guy.
Howard
and Byron Jones can hold his own on the other side.
If Howard plays a full healthy season, he'll jump right into this top 10. I think he's got the talent.
My other 12 was Chris Harris.
Chris Harris, yeah, just a little older for me.
I see because it was obviously him, Peterson, Sherman are my older guys.
Yeah.
And it was just I feel better about Sherman and Peterson going forward, much better than I do Chris Harris.
Nobody likes Shaq Griffin.
So I mean, listen, go Knights, baby. So I thought about it, but
I saw him, and I just he was kind of like that 13-12 guy for me. And then I had and then I had like Quentin Dunbar, just guys like
he was a floater. My like 11, 10, and 9 was Alexander, Ward, and then I love Kyle Fuller. Like I'm a big Virginia Tech guy, and it's just like the Bears, just all like
situations
all across the board. Every Bears defender had a bad year, so I was just like, I can't.
Well,
like,
not Khalil.
They couldn't keep, the offense couldn't stay on the field.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. But like Kendall and Kyle Fuller, I think are two really good corners. Top 15, I would argue.
All right, well, let's christen the top 3. I'm still blown away in Peters, but fair enough.
I will say I'm assuming we all 3 of us have the same number 1, but the 2 and 3 will be interesting. I'm curious.
2 and 3, I think will be interesting. I think we're all going to have the same number 1.
Yeah, let's hear it, Alex. So we got 3.
So at number 3, we got the pride of Florida State, and you guys already know who it is. I mean, dripping swagoo. I mean,
swagoo.
The boy was made to wear the big boy chain. He loves the big play. He loves the big opportunity. I mean, he's the closest thing. So I'm going to throw that word out again, swagger-wise, that we have to Dion.
I was going to say Sanders, yeah.
I mean, he wants to go against Julio. He wants Hopkins. He wants. I was going to say Brown, but he doesn't have a team. He wants those guys.
He probably still wants to fight them for no reason.
Yeah, like he wants them all. And I mean, the only knock on him is that locker room presence. He just, for some reason, seems to rub some guys the wrong way. But I want him on my team. I take him on the Birds in a heartbeat.
Without a doubt, yeah.
I mean, well, just for the fans at home who are being educated by us, who are we talking about?
We're talking about Jalen Ramsey. Sorry, I didn't get it out of my mouth for you. We're talking about.
You were salivating over him too much.
It was drooling.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. So Jalen Ramsey, that was. I mean, you guys can go look at the numbers. You can go look at it yourselves. Look at the stats. Look at the Pro Bowls. First team All Pro. Not last year, but his rookie year, he was first team All Pro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know, like corner, like that's just like a crazy position to be a first team All Pro as a rookie. He's a national champion. The guy's great. I love his enthusiasm, and that's who I have at number 3.
So we're back on track now because I also had Jalen Ramsey at number 3.
Okay.
I mean, really, like you hit on most of the points. I won't talk too much about it, but the only reason I put him at 3 because going off the 3 pillars, I have complete faith. Like any of these top 3, I have complete faith that they're going to be same amazing cornerbacks in the next 3 years as they are next year. I just think that I actually the other 2 guys that I have in front of Ramsey were better last year, and I think that comes down to the whole Jaguar situation, and everything. You mentioned Alex went with the Jair Alexander thing. Is like I remember the first game when he was with the Rams, Jalen Ramsey came in and. Just a little sequence I watched, he had like a pass break and then forced a fumble. Like it's just like his game, it doesn't matter scheme. Like I talked to Peters, like, he's gone through 2-3 different defensive schemes and succeeded. Jalen Ramsey is like scheme proof. Like you just tell him to cover whatever wide receiver you want him to do. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. He's just going to dominate and do his thing. He's big, he's physical, he's athletic. I still think I'd rather have Marcus Peters than giving up 2 first-round picks and giving a huge contract to Jalen Ramsey.
Yep.
But, that's just me.
I think Ramsey's more of a guarantee than.
Yeah, but I mean, I really think Peters. Well, I obviously have a different opinion than you.
I mean, that was a good gamble for the Ravens, though, a 5th round pick into some second string veteran. But
No, I mean, it blew.
Oh yeah,
it's a stud. It was a great pick.
I think it's going to be big for them.
Yeah, I like. I think I factored last year as like a funk, so I had Ramsey a pinch higher. So my number 3 was Tre'Davious White from the Bills.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you could swap these arguably 3, 2, in any order. I just, it's just a preference at that point. But yeah, I mean, Tre'Davious White, which I'm sure you guys will preach on a little bit. He's a stud. I mean, already a Pro Bowl and All-Pro at 25, 20, whatever he is, and heading into his 4th year in the league, and the Bills have quietly always had like a good secondary, or at least like one good secondary player. Like they had
they had Gilmore.
Gilmore when he was good. Like he wasn't. I wouldn't say Gilmore was elite.
I think he was like a Pro Bowl level guy, though.
Yeah, he was for sure. And then they move on to Tre'Davious White, who I'll say he's funny. Like he's a hilarious guy. The Bills had him like try on goalie equipment the one time, like hockey goalie stuff, and he was like he knows nothing about hockey, and he's just like telling them all. He's like, yeah, I was undefeated, never let up a goal. All this stuff is like. But he's good. Like he's quick, instinctive. Like he's only going to keep being
LSU guy too.
If he's top 3 at 25, and he plays on. I mean, the Bills are good. I'm happy Sean McDermott has brought the Bills to playoff contention. Multiple years now, and hopefully they can take that division now that the Patriots are a little, lessened. But
wagons, baby, circle the wagons.
We'll see. I don't count out Bill yet. I still think he win that division no matter who he's got.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I like him. I like him a lot.
I do. I like Tre'Davious White. You hit on a lot of good points there. But I'm assuming.
That's the only thing to say that Bill's going to have the division. Like he hasn't had the division for 20 years.
I feel like it's
a chance.
I literally don't see him giving it up. I still think that they would go 10-6, 11-5. And
I wouldn't be surprised if not the Jets, but maybe the Dolphins come out of nowhere, and Tua lights it up, and they take it.
We'll see. I still think they need some more pieces, but we'll see.
Yeah, they're
the Bills.
I think the Bills are. No, I think
they're well built.
Bills year.
The Bills, no, they're. You know what?
Especially with Diggs now. Like
that's what I said when we did Matthew. I said Matthew was the best addition that.
Singletary's a good running back.
This offseason, best addition is going to be Stephon Diggs. Going to be the best addition of the offseason.
I'll see. Maybe it'll be Slay, and the Eagles will,
Could be Slay, but I think Diggs is going to help them a lot.
I agree.
All right, Alex, what do you got at number 2?
The boy we were just talking about, Tre'Davious White. I'm not going to give him a whole intro like I was doing before, but he is physical. I think that's like one of the things that people don't really know about him. He gets most of his work done within the first 5 yards. Uses that strong 6-foot frame. He jams you up at the line. He doesn't allow people to get past him really. And I mean, you guys were touching on it. He is a stud. He's the number 1 guy there. It's no question. When you go into Buffalo, you have to plan for where White's going to be on the field and how you're going to get your receivers open on that side. And he goes out and he covers, whoever you throw at him on any side of the field. And he's number 2 for me. If it wasn't for the guy that we, who's number 1 having that year, he could have been number 1. And any other year, maybe he probably is number 1. But for me, he slides into number 2. What do you got, Timmy?
Fair enough. I agree with a lot of stuff you said. I have Tre'Davious White number 2 as well. I mean, one thing you missed, the dude had 6 interceptions last year.
I didn't have that. That's a good fact. Yeah, that's a lot.
Led the league. I mean, him and Gilmore were so close because Gilmore had 6 interceptions too. I just think, and I like Sean McDermott a lot. I do, but I think that's just Bill Belichick's teaching him a little bit better. But I like White a lot. He's literally that I take the number 1 guy and cover him no matter who it is, no matter what we're doing. I really like, you know who I like as an addition this year? I really like Josh Norman going to the Bills and going back to Sean McDermott.
Oh, he did. I didn't know he signed with the Bills.
I didn't even know that happened. When did that?
Yeah, it's low key because he's very low key. But I would definitely.
Hey, Norman's best years are with McDermott. So
the Redskins are a train wreck of an organization. Josh Norman is not the only free agent.
They're Washington.
Oh yeah, the Washington team.
Nobody. It's the Washington Potatoes.
Yeah, that's when you don't even have a team name, you know you aren't very good at that. I mean, I love the Norman pickup because you're gonna play opposite of Tre'Davious White. Norman was the number one guy with McDermott. I think he's gonna flip being that number two guy. He can make plays on the ball. They both can. I really like White. It's him in 1 and 2. He's an all-pro last year. He really broke out. I have all the faith in the world going forward. The top three, I'm not going to lie. I would not be surprised to see this, like, the top three flip up and down, upside down. To have, like, Ramsey, White, and then, Gilmore at 1. Like, it could switch anywhere. I all think they're neck and neck.
Yeah, I just think it's, like, crazy how White has just set himself apart. And, like, I believe –
really quick. He's a young guy.
Yeah, let me double check.
I think I know what stat you're about to hit us with.
Well, I don't know if that is, but he's been starting since he was a rookie. Like, I wasn't sure about that, but yeah, he's just. I mean, there's one thing I did want to point out. Last year, Big Egg, 0 touchdowns allowed.
That's it. We're on the same page. 0. That was what I forgot. That was my last fact.
Baller.
He's good, man. He's really good. Even his rookie year, he's another of those guys that came in quick. He had 4 interceptions. He had forced a fumble. 18 passes defended. That was even more than he had last year. He had 17 last year. But the 6 interceptions was huge. Obviously, that was league leader, big number. But yeah, the guy's a stud. He took a huge leap.
0 touchdowns
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I didn't know that. I didn't come across that one. That's pretty good.
That's. I mean, you could make a case he's number 1. I mean, if the guy who's number 1 didn't do what he did, which we'll get to.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, I could switch the top 3. I just feel like are so close. I would not be surprised if Jalen Ramsey was number 1 next year or White
easily.
Like, I just think that when you're talking top 3 in a position, those are the most interchangeable. Like, you can make an argument for number 1 for any of them.
Yep.
One thing that I just looked at and found out, which I find kind of crazy, besides Richard Sherman, all of my top 10 corners were either a first or second round pick. And, like, corners are kind of like receivers where they're very hit and miss with, early on in the draft.
Was Darius Slay a first round pick?
Second. I said first or second. So Casey Hayward, Slay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, same with me.
But Ramsey was a number 5 overall. Like, Alexander was number 1. Denzel Ward was a number 1 pick.
If you think about it, there's really not as many busts for cornerbacks. Like, when they get drafted high, it's kind of like offensive tackle. Like when we're talking about that, it's usually they get drafted pretty high, but there's really, of course, there's gonna be some. But
I think that has to do with the college game too. College is such a high power offense. So when you find a corner that stands out, that's why they're getting taken top 5, top 10 nowadays.
Well, I mean, I just mentioned even what's his White's rookie year. He had 18 passes defended, 4 interceptions. Like, they're coming in and being number 1 guys right away. Lattimore did it. Peterson, even his rookie year, you're going back a couple years, but they don't skip a beat in such a hard position because you're following number 1 guys. Julio Jones doesn't go to college. Like, those people don't go to college. That's a grown man.
White also had 6 picks last year. Also pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, he led the league. Led the league. Tied with the next guys. But with that, Alex, who's your number 1?
Hold on. I didn't say my number 2 yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I forgot.
So, yeah, my number 2 is Jalen Ramsey. That was really just, preference thing. I think
why Ramsey over White?
I just looked at it as body work's not fair to say either, but I just think Ramsey's slightly better than White right now. I think last year was a fucking clusterfuck of a year for him. Like, the Jaguars were dismal. Everyone wanted to leave. And then he finally gets traded. And then the Rams were also kind of a disaster. And he was learning how to play in that system, how to play with – they had moving parts. They're a question mark, I would say, this year too. But I think you give me like, an option to take any player available, and Ramsey's like, I like him a lot. I love the trash talking, like, especially if you're a good corner who can back it up. I love you get in someone's face and, get on them the whole time. And so that's why I just kind of gave him a slight edge over White. But, next year, who knows? I could put White, over Ramsey pretty easily. So I don't have a problem with either order.
I got to be honest. Like, I'm curious to see, like, I feel like the Rams lost a lot of pieces in their defense.
Yeah.
And a lot of moving parts. But when you think about you're running a defense with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald, I'm curious
at their position.
I'm just curious to see how good they can be off of just like two guys. Like we touched on it with Chandler Jones and Patrick Peterson, but this is like, when it comes to defensive pairing, this is like one of the best ones I've seen in, you can say like the last 5 years. Like they are easily two top-notch, top 3 players at their position, probably top 3 defenders in the league. You could make an argument for. So I mean,
but yeah, like based on last year, I could see why you would put White over Ramsey.
I think White just balled out of his mind. Like
I just couldn't believe when I saw that he had no touchdowns against.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Hey, Denzel Ward had one, so I mean,
it's kind of like Brad. Yeah. I mean, it's almost kind of like Brad Lidge's perfect year with the Phillies. I mean, what's better than perfection? I mean, as a corner, your job is to allow no touchdowns, and he allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, even like he could have even been caught on like a freak play, like some random flea flicker that happened to go deep. But no, he was solid. Like
he's solid against the number 1 guy every time.
Oh yeah,
more impressive. But
all right, so what do we have? Number 1.
Without further ado, that guy we keep saying, the defensive player of the year on the absolute worst team in the league.
Trayvon LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Maddox. No, so we got Stephon Gilmore across the board. I mean, he was the best defensive player in the league for a reason.
Yeah. No arguments here.
I mean,
I wish I had I used to have an easy button. I wish I had it because every week we've had a fucking easy number 1 that we could all like talk about. But yeah, Gilmore. Not to steer your thunder there, but yeah, Gilmore.
No, we can all just talk about it. I mean, we all have. Yeah. I mean, we all have them there. It's a slam dunk. I mean, it's kind of like
the defense player of the year is just like the chess piece.
What are you gonna
do? Yeah, I looked up because I was actually I can't really even think of cornerbacks ever winning awards.
I was gonna ask when was the last?
There's been a couple. I mean, more than I expected. Like Woodson was the last one.
Yep.
With the Packers or the Raiders?
Packers.
Okay.
Packers. Deion won one. I think he was the next one most recent.
You say not a while ago, but that's like Deion Sanders played a long time ago.
Yeah,
I know, but I was like, I guess it's fair. It was more than I expected. I don't know. I really was like, I can't think of a single cornerback that.
I mean, it's usually linemen or backers, isn't it? Like linebackers.
Yeah, normally, yeah.
Yeah, the ends.
The guys are stuff. We talked about like he was the first round pick, went to the Bills. He's got the athleticism and the size. He's always had it. He was, I would say, a borderline Pro Bowl guy, probably a Pro Bowl guy when he was with the Bills, and then just like the tutelage of what Bill Belichick has taught this guy.
But yeah, his last year in Buffalo, he made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, like even he says it. It's like he was getting by with athleticism and speed in Bills. Mm-hmm. Now he just like knows how to play the position. Of course, I always come with highlights. So again, don't worry, I got another one coming your way.
Oh boy!
And this is one of the things with Gilmore is he's like
$79.99 a month for Fios gigabyte connection.
Big stuff. Yeah. He's like the best. Just his eyes, like he sees the ball. It doesn't matter if you catch it; he's gonna either punch it out. He had 6 interceptions, led the league. Tied with a couple other guys.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by reading that number 2 was Marcus Peters. But go on.
Yeah, go ahead. This is a perfect example. I don't have the full screen, but like you see, this is a catch. This is a catch. That's a catch.
Oh,
I'm gonna spat it out of the hand.
Yeah,
and he does it all. I don't see another guy that does this so much as he does.
And look, he does it. He plays it perfectly enough that he's not going to get called for like little touching here and there, and then at the perfect time punches that ball away.
Like that's great coverage. Great coverage.
Oh yeah.
The guy makes a great. He goes up. I don't know who 86 is, but he goes up and that's an impressive catch. But Gilmore, yeah, he you look at the guy. He just look at his head. He's always looking at the ball. He sees it. He punches it. Boom. Like it's just the guy always finds that ball, and I swear he's got the best hands when it comes to just punching it out. The team, I had a couple stats. He obviously, led the league in pass defense. He had 20 of those, 6 interceptions, both leading the league. The ball skills is just amazing. 48% passer rating against him. He had a completion percentage under 50%. The other thing is the Pats play the most man defense in the league. We talked about guys that follow number one wide receivers. This is Gilmore. Literally, Gilmore plays the number one guy.
I also have him, just so you know, just one more stat to throw at the people. We got 343 press coverage snaps, which is the most in the NFL, and he played them to perfection.
He's a stud.
He plays man-to-man press all day long.
And press is the harder of, compared to like zone. Like
They got the whole defense was just amazing. Their offense was really abysmal, and they still made the playoffs. Belichick. This guy has just gotten so good under Belichick's tutelage. You can see him when he's making plays, punching the ball out while the guy's bringing it in. That's just that extra level thinking. And I think he's the ultimate weapon because, Belichick preaches just take away their best weapon, take away their best option. Take what they want to do away from them. And he literally has a one-man eraser in Gilmore. Yeah,
and I think that he's one example of where you point to a defense that's this is one of the top defenses in the league. And if we were talking the Bears a couple years ago, it was it's because Khalil Mack's on the team, or the Rams, it's because Aaron Donald. The Patriots are great because Stephon Gilmore is great. He's the best player on that defense, and it's not their line's solid, their linebackers are solid, but it's he is the reason that they're that good. You know what I mean? Usually it's the line play helps corners, but it's almost the opposite. He's so good at coverage that it helps the other players in the front do well.
No, I think the secondary is really good. Obviously, we talked about McCourty.
Yeah.
And
they have another good young guy.
Well, they had what's his face? J.C. Jackson was the other cornerback.
He's a good up and coming guy.
He's pretty solid. Yeah, he's good. But it's just Belichick loves his D-backs, and it's amazing what they did. They turn the ball over all the time, and they go for touchdowns. Their defense at points, it seems are outscoring their offense.
Yeah, it's he's 20. He'll be 30 to start the year, which
surprising.
A little bit of a concern, maybe, but you look at
I'm not.
You look at Slay and Peterson and Sherman, he'll be fine.
You can honestly say he's still getting better. Obviously, he took a step up once he got to the Patriots from the Bills days, but
yeah,
this season was an improvement over last season, and next season can be an improvement on top of that.
Oh, for sure. I didn't even realize he was already with the Patriots for 3 years now. I thought it was more recent, but
yeah, I didn't realize it was 3 years. I thought it was only 2.
Yeah, same.
And then the year before.
But yeah, past 2 years, both were Pro Bowl, both an All-Pro. You can't for a corner that's a limited, capacity position. Only if two players or 3 players make All-Pro for corner.
And it's not a long ceiling for most corners. Usually they get to that pinnacle, and it's they just kind of start seeing that.
We especially with going to different teams, and we've seen so many cases of a really good corner go to a different team and a different scheme and just be abysmal. And he easy transition from
Asamoah.
Asamoah, Maxwell.
I got to say too is the defensive player of the year obviously is the big draw, but I'm not saying that it's an easy award to win, but this year was a difficult year to win. If you factor in 2 guys went for over at least 19 sacks. You had Aaron Donald, he's going to be one of those players. I think JJ was the same ways. You're going to look back on him and realize you were watching one of the greatest defense players ever to play.
Oh yeah,
prime.
Casually.
To win a defensive player of the year award while Aaron Donald's in his prime is astronomical. That's impressive. You had White had you could argue White had just as good a year as Gilmore.
Mm-hmm. And he was in the discussion for sure.
Yeah, Jamal Adams may have played. Minka was balling. TJ Watt had a great year. There was a lot of good defenders. This was a tight year. And he kind of was locked down, just the number one guy the whole time because all I remember is the Patriots defense scoring so much. They're constantly forcing turnovers, and they're constantly scooping them up, and they're constantly returning.
I only see 1 touchdown against all year. Is that what you guys have for him?
I believe that's what I had.
Yeah.
I was surprised actually when I was looking at this. Is Devontae Parker did burn him the one? I think
that was the one.
Every corner has one game where they're
lossing. But to be fair to Gilmore, he ran into Parker. But if you guys remember, he was killing everyone. Whoever Parker went up against,
he was hot.
It didn't matter. He was just for some reason for a 4 or 5 game stretch in the middle of the year, he couldn't be stopped.
Him going up on every Eagles cornerback.
Lossing everybody.
Every single one.
Everybody.
I couldn't believe it. That was a painful game to watch. He just kept on just jumping over people. I'm just gonna take the ball. You know, like, oh, how?
So,
Like,
I mean, you lose to a freak of nature, freak year in Parker one time, and the rest of the year is perfect. He won Defensive Player of the Year. He was on the best defense in the AFC, maybe the best defense in the league, and he went over and locked down every receiver that they threw at him. And what I'm looking at here is that he had almost no help over the top all year. They just didn't put a safety.
oh no, yeah, that's just.
Yeah, I think McCourty played a lot of like.
It was all man. It's all man that he played. I mean, he's 93% man. I'm looking at. So he's on an island. He's by himself.
Like the fact that Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year as a corner, with that I just think that speaks volumes to how talented he is, and he'll be at this top three for a couple more years for sure.
I think our three, you could take our three almost next year and repeat it.
Copy and paste, yeah.
That's what I mean. Honestly, I think something that helps Gilmore a lot is, he plays for Bill Belichick. It's just a natural advantage of playing for the Patriots.
Yeah.
I feel like he's taught him so much about how to play the position. And you could just see the improvement immediately from when he got to the Patriots. And now it's like, he's just smart when he plays. He's just super smart. He reminds me of like Sherman with the smarts, but he has the athletic ability to run around.
He's a younger version. I think he's just
you said, Sherman does play only zone. Gilmore just plays man only.
He does. That's what I think is a testament to him. He's willing to take the task, and very, very infrequently does he fail. And
Bill puts him on an island. He'll play man and just let him cover, and it always works out. The guy just gets the ball. Like, he's got eyes for the ball. It's incredible.
Imagine what that does for your defense. Imagine you're the Patriots defense, and you just know that you don't have to worry about a double team on whoever that night. He just goes out and plays them.
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, Belichick always says he takes the best player away from you when he plays you, and now he's got a player that can do it himself. Like, it doesn't matter who you have, he's just going to cover you.
Yeah. I mean, Tim can attest to this. Like, we played football in high school, but I was nothing special, obviously. But I loved playing cornerback and safety, like even in practice, just because I think it's after cornerback is the second hardest position in football. I mean, you're asked to do so much, like whether it's playing man on man with the best receiver, or playing essentially 1/3 of the field if you're playing zone defense. It's like it's so impressive what some of these players are able to do, especially if they're giving up less than like a couple touchdowns. Like that.
Especially in today's NFL with
pass happy NFL.
Deck is stacked against them. All the rules you can't touch, and I mean, like, it's just it's a tough assignment to go out there and cover these guys, and to watch the best people in the world do it, like Gilmore, White, and Ramsey. I mean,
it's truly amazing seeing the little they take away, and it doesn't matter who it is they take away. It's also what's amazing about it too is it's the position where in a split second you're done. You're screwed.
Oh yeah,
like a quarterback I think is the only one that's up there just as much, because you could just split second make the wrong throw and it's interception, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Quarterbacks, man, you bite on anything, you're torched.
Yeah.
You're torched. You miss an assignment, you're torched.
That's what I'm saying about the difficulty. Like, if you're a DN and you get like just stuff, like your spin move is terrible or whatever, like
whatever.
All right, next play, I got him next time. Corner, if you get torched and the quarterback hits that's a touchdown. Like,
even if you miss a tackle, it's like you can miss a tackle and you'll be okay. Corners, like, there's no recovery time.
You're the last man.
Yeah.
That's what
really. You don't have safety help.
Yeah. That's and Gilmore is like, he's a good tackler too. Nobody talks about that.
He's sick. I got him at
most Patriots players are good tacklers. It's a Bill Belichick thing, but
I think it's the perfect combination of just super athletic.
Oh yeah.
Build, and now he's got the tutelage that has just brought him to another level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what. Just like last thing to close it up, Belichick, I mean, takes a guy like Malcolm Butler, who's undrafted, and makes him a Super Bowl hero, and he was actually pretty good the next year, and then he goes to Tennessee and he's pretty much out of the league. Like, he's done. Like, nobody. Like, he had a year, but
listen, Belichick has always been a defensive back guy.
Defensive
god.
Defense, yeah, he's the wizard.
So the D-back, so he's always because he's always a man guy. If you look at, so there's the top 3 teams that ran man last year. Number 1 was the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was the Lions, and number 3 was the Dolphins. You have two coaches underneath Belichick, and then you have Belichick himself.
Yeah.
He produces. You look at the list: Asante Samuel, Ty Law, Devin McCourty. Stephon Gilmore now. Like he even had Revis for a little bit. Talib when he was there. Like he puts a precedent on corners. He knows how to coach secondary. He realized how much of a strength it is. And I got to say, I think Gilmore's the best secondary player he's had. Like just pure player and athlete. And he's making them better. Like I think that these guys that he's had. Look at Patrick Chung.
I mean, Ty Law just went to the Hall of Fame, didn't he?
Yeah, Patrick Chung is the worst safety on any team besides the Patriots. Bill Belichick just makes everyone in the secondary better, and Gilmore, I think, the best guy that he's had, and he's just elevating him to another level.
That's what I'm saying. He can take someone off the streets and turn him into a Super Bowl hero, and then he goes to Tennessee, and it's like we don't really want this guy.
Yeah, I mean, same with Logan Ryan was a Patriot too, and then he kind of just
Yeah.
I mean, Trey Flowers and Chandler Jones are kind of, I guess, maybe a little different, but they're also D-line guys, not second.
Yeah, but mostly, it's always easy to rush the pass for the Patriots because your secondary is gonna be amazing and cover them all day.
Oh yeah,
true,
without question. Yeah, I think that's a good wrap up on Gilmore.
Yeah,
we touched on our honorable mentions a little bit already, but yeah, I think
that works. My battery just popped up with running low, so I think it's perfect timing actually. But that was good. I'm glad. I thank you for coming on, Alex. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, boys, I really did. I appreciate you guys having me. I know I was better than Josh. That was a game. So, I did. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have me back next year, and we can put out some more.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll keep you on the Rolodex of guests we got going.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a good list. Had a lot of correlation. Alex and I hit on a couple same. Tim and Alex had a couple.
I need you guys to watch Marcus Peters highlights. That's what I need you.
I'll
watch Marshawn Lattimore. You have to watch Marcus Peters.
No. Your homework assignment is to watch Marshawn Lattimore. We don't need to watch.
No, I did. He was at 10.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Number 10.
I was so far back, I forgot.
You don't even have Marcus Peters on this list. Like, you can group him in the same group as Malcolm Butler.
If this was we were stuck in traffic on the highway, like you had Lattimore like on the side with like a pop tire, and like Marcus Peters was so far back that he wasn't even on the highway yet. That's where he should have been.
BMW flying by.
So. I mean, I guess it's a fair analogy, but
Dakota, were we 10 for 10 on our list or no?
Let's see. So Ward and Ward.
Were you 10? You might have been interesting.
Sherman, Ward, Humphreys, Alexander.
Yeah, because I think the only one. So Tim had Marcus Peters.
The only thing was Peters. That's the only difference we had all night.
Well, one of you didn't have Pat Peterson.
Oh, yeah, Peterson and
So who else didn't you have, Tim?
He didn't have Ward or Alexander.
Okay.
I did not have Ward or Alexander.
Which, in his defense, I had it 10 and 9.
Yeah, that's fair. I had Alexander really high, and that was just because he made love to my eye sockets while I watched him.
I just don't the Lattimore thing. I don't know why you.
The only thing is because his peak was his rookie year. It's still his best year. Like I know he's still been performing at a high level, but he has declined from his rookie year. That's still the best year of his career.
Decline from defensive rookie of the year, and he shut down one of your favorite receivers, and
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. 10's not bad. It's just who would you replace him with on this list?
I mean, you could say Ramsey's declined since his rookie year. He was a first-team All-Pro, and he hasn't done that yet.
We had Lattimore 4. I think 4 and 10 is.
I thought Ramsey was. When Ramsey plays, he's fun.
Yes,
he's an All-Pro when he plays. It's just he's not going to be rated that high this year because he missed a couple games because his back was hurt.
Well, we all know.
His back was hurt from carrying all his money.
Yeah. His big chain on his neck.
Something about that West Coast was good because as soon as he got to LA, it went away. No problems after that.
What? Time zone. I think he's from California. I know he's from Tennessee. Never mind. Yeah. Florida State guy from college.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
All
right, boys.
All right. It's a pleasure. It's good to see you guys.
It was a good talk. I mean, there really wasn't really too much shenanigans going on besides Tim. But
honestly, the arguing was lower than normal.
Yeah. By far lower.
Yeah. All right, boys. All right. I'll catch you later. All right, guys. All right.
Thanks now.
Have a good night.